It is Lori, late night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. And I am coming to you on Wednesday, December 17th from Wisconsin at 11:58 p.m. I would have been here a little sooner. I don't know if you saw me pop on live, but YouTube was having a little fit and didn't want to let me. Whoop, let's get rid of the other volume. YouTube didn't want to have it oriented how I needed it. So let me get my other device set up. And we will get busy. Because that's what we want to do, right? All right. I think we're good to go. So welcome. Yeah, I would have been on a few minutes sooner, except YouTube decided to make it all sideways and huge. So I had to start over. Just when I thought I could have had things wrapped up a little bit early. So let me try to change the lights a little bit so we don't have quite so much glare. But we want some brightness here. We want some light. So how is everybody tonight? Since I am a few minutes early, I know it might take people a couple minutes to get here. I'm trying to move my light forward a little bit to brighten it up a little bit. And let's maybe move this up a little bit so you can see the whole thing. So, a couple quick announcements. December 1st, I changed my online store link, so you can find me at latenightlori.stampinup.net. Feel free to pop over into my website, see all of the things that are going on with Stampin' Up! Because I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And Stampin' Up! Wants me to say that, so I have to remember to start saying that again, because I think, got lazy and just wasn't saying it for a bit. So feel free to stop by. I will be adding some projects. I was going to do that today, and then the day got away from me. So hello, Donna. How are you? Our new mini catalog, it's going to go live on December 6th, unless you've already joined Stampin' Up! And then you already have access. So it is available online if you've joined Stampin' Up! If you're a demonstrator, hobbyist, community coach, business builder, kitnapper, whatever you want to call yourself. But make sure that you claim your paper copy, because you do get a complimentary paper copy. Make sure also that you are opted in for Stampin' Rewards, because every time you make a purchase, then you get money back for your future purchases. And you can build those up in case you didn't know that. You can bank those. So I received my virtual card making retreat kit yesterday. I went through all of the products yesterday that were in my kit and explained kind of how the lay of the land will be for January 22nd and 23rd. Yeah, I was talking or chatting with somebody else. We had a Zoom meeting earlier today, and there were two gals on there from Australia and New Zealand, and said it was like close to 100 degrees for you guys in Fahrenheit. So super hot. So I hope you have air conditioning, or that you really like the heat. I would love it, quite honestly. I would love it. We actually are pretty mild here. So it was in the 40s, 32 degrees for us is freezing. So it was a little above freezing for us. But this online retreat, if anybody local to me is planning on purchasing this, I will plan on having a watch party if you care to join me. This is going to be 7-ish hours of crafting with Stampin' Up! Professionals for 2 days from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Time on January 22nd and 23rd. If you haven't ordered this, if you have not seen the cards we're going to be making, but if you did like the virtual album retreat, there is just a lot packed into those couple of days of training. So I'm looking forward to this. If you want to see everything that's in the kit, Sarah Douglas did basically a walkthrough with Melody. And they did that on her Facebook page yesterday, but I also last night showed all of my products so you could see those. This is what we're going to work with tonight, the Cool Kids Club, as Sarah Douglas likes to call it. This is the product of the month. Donna, did you get the product of the month? You're a demonstrator, right? Or even if you're not, because it's open to everybody. There's no pre-order for this, and you can only order one, but it does take a qualifying order. I don't know what that is in Australia, but in the United States, it's $75. So you will see a progress bar across your shopping screen so that you'll know how close you are, but it does take $75 before tax and shipping here in the United States. And then you will have the option to add it to your cart for just $5. So it's a normal size pack of 12 by 12 designer series paper. They're beautiful. We're going to try to play with it tonight. So I think that's all the announcements I want to make. If I think of something else, I'll bring it up. But let's do a quick walkthrough of these papers because they are really pretty. And I came across a little layout idea, just a really basic card using 2 of the designer series papers. We'll put a layer on here for a sentiment. Okay, so $125 for your order and $9 for the product. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if you were a demonstrator or not, but we all get this product of the month at the same time. So we'll take a look at this, and I'm just going to follow this little simple layout. I've done things like this before, and this can either be, this dark strip here can either be a piece of ribbon or designer series, or, well, it could be designer series paper, but I'm thinking more like cardstock. So I'm just going to set that up so I can keep that in the forefront. But let's take a look at these papers because I did not open this last night to show everybody. I think I got it yesterday. I might have gotten it the day before. I don't know. Time gets away from me. But this is called the True Blue Florals. So it is basically your balmy blue and night of navy. All right. So this is a nice big floral design. Now, something that I saw done was to go ahead and just add, I should probably not do that on top of another sheet because these alcohol blends will go through the paper. But to just add some color to the designer series paper. I mean, what a simple way to just change this up totally, right? Let's put a little bit of soft seafoam in here on these leaves. That doesn't change a whole lot of the color, but you can see it. And if you did that over a whole section, just imagine how different that would look. Sela, welcome. How are you? So I know I'm working upside down, but that I wanted it close to the edge of my paper. So too, we could, if I got like a pink color, you know, something in the red tones, that might be really pretty too. So we may play with that. So let me get those scraps out of the way. So you get 2 pieces of that. Here's the back side. I love that. And 2, let's take a look at if we colored that. And let's say if we took some yellow, Daffodil Delight, and just filled in a square. You could make like a little plaid. Daffodil Delight might not be the color I would choose for the whole thing, but that is kind of pretty. So there's a lot of different things you could do to make this paper just look very different. And I did mention yesterday, you know, for those people that aren't into florals, and I never really thought I was much of a floralsy kind of person, but you can't necessarily think of these papers as your taste as much as who are you going to give it to? Are they going to love it? Probably. Okay. Oh, Sally, you caught another cold and lost your voice. Weren't you without your voice not too long ago, like within the last couple of weeks? Well, I'm sorry you are not feeling well. But at least here you can just type. You don't even have to talk, right? So I think that's cool. I think I would maybe like a bright color, like Lemon Lime Twist. That's kind of pretty. That would almost make it look like, to me, it kind of looks like old-fashioned wallpaper. What do you think? But how different that looks from just the plain blue. Yeah, it does look Swedish. Funny you should mention that because I'm Swedish. My grandmother came from Sweden when she was a preschooler, like either 2 or 4 years old. I've heard different things, so I don't know if she was 2 or 4. So that's why I want to get over there someday. It's on my bucket list. Maybe I'll come visit you. Oh, you know, does it have anything to do, Sally, with the girls being in school? Do they bring home a lot of stuff that you get? I used to get more sick when my kids were younger. Yeah, so this side I won't use, obviously, for this print, but I sure do like that. And you could do just a series of colors and make that really pretty. So anyway, let's move on. So this is another one, and this uses both the Night of Navy and the Balmy Blue with some white in there. I don't know that I would colorize this, but you certainly could. And this side could be colorized as well. And I'm thinking with this one, you could do more blending brushes. You do have a good memory, Sala. I really like this one. So again, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, that's what all of these are. So it's hard to tell. I think this is just a very light tint of the Night of Navy. And there's the back side. That's kind of cool. This would be very pretty colorized, I think. We might play with that a little bit later. This is kind of wallpaper-y too. I like that. Oh, you get sick when nobody else does, huh? Well, that's a shame. You know, since I went through chemotherapy back in 1998 for 8 months. And since then, I have not, I think I've been really sick once. And that was somebody we were working with. My husband was working at the college with me. He was delivering the dummies for CPR, the mannequins. And one of the fellas there that worked closely with my husband got RSV. And my husband got it. And then I think he gave it to me. So we were really sick. And that was around the holidays that year. But that's really the only time I've been super sick. I really like this one. And then we have this one, just some leafy things in there. And those flowers. So I thought I would pull in these beautiful motif dies just because this is kind of like, I don't know, old-fashioned-ish to me. And these are kind of old-fashioned-ish to me as well. And I noticed that these floral pieces are similar to those there. So I thought maybe we could use a couple of those pieces and let's just see how it goes, okay? So, what 2 designer series papers do you think we should use? We're gonna go with a light set. And then a darker set because we're just going to do that real simple layout first and see how that goes. Yeah, kids are like little petri dishes, aren't they? So if we go, I think those 2 would look kind of good together. And then well, those two might look kind of good together with a break in the middle. They might be kind of similar, but so here again is the layout we're going to do. So we're going to have a bigger design and maybe a smaller design. That might work. Or maybe that instead. Oops, what did I do with my picture went away. Well, that's interesting. Well, it is what it is. So, let's see. Yeah, this paper is beautiful. And this is our product of the month. So it takes in the United States, it would be a $75 order, and then you can add it for $5, but you're in Finland. So, yeah, I don't know how that would convert if you were to order something from me. So, you like the light blue with the flowers. So that's a light blue with just those. Light blue with the flowers. This one? Or this one? I think maybe we'll just make a few of them because it'll be really quick. And then the floral pattern that I colored in. Yeah, that's really pretty. So let's just start doing some cutting. I'm going to cut some 4-inch strips because even if we layer them over, 4 inches will get me 3 card fronts basically. And I find that if when I get my paper, I cut it up, I use it. Okay, so are you saying this one, Donna? Juju! How are you? Bonnie sent me a picture of you and your son. How fun is that? And you get to leave for home with him anytime now? And then I'm going to go 5.5 because we're going to do a full length. I think MacMan is asleep. So I noticed that Tyler had some, oh, this is not a piece I'm going to use for this. We'll use that for that side. I noticed Tyler had some metal on his uniform. So he's been decorated for some achievements. Yep, Sala is in the house. Donna is here. We've got a few other folks, but nobody has chimed in yet. So I'm just going to start cutting some stuff. We're going to do just a simple layout initially, and then we'll see what else we want to try. So we could color more of this. I really like that kind of colorized. All right, so here we go. We got a bunch of these. And let's just flip a couple of these. Well, that one got a little rough. I might have to use my little emery board to smooth that out. All right, so one piece cut up. So what if we used, do you think those would look good together? I'm thinking maybe. So let's just do this one at 1.5 inches and see how that works for us. And again, I'm going to do full length, so 5.5. And then 5.5. And we'll have just a little piece left over. But that could work. Maybe like this. And then I could color those the others up there. Or we could just do it plain. Yeah, the really dark one, I like that. There's another dark one that I think will work well too, and that's this one. Just has some little foliage bits and then some small, some small floral pieces in there. So let's, I think that one's kind of cool too. That might work well with that too. Let me get some Balmy blue ribbon. Because I've got this pretty balmy, I'm pretty sure this is Balmy blue. Yeah, we've got this Balmy blue sheer ribbon. That would be pretty. That's very shiny. All right, so the dark one works well with all of them. Nice contrast. Yes, Juju, this is the product of the month. The Cool Kids product of the month. And I think I'm just going to put these on some thick basic white. So I'm kind of making a mess. Let me get the thick basic white quick. We'll make a couple of card bases. Many of those look like the little pieces of fabric men tuck into the pocket of their suit. Yeah, it does. You're right. You know, the funny thing, you should mention that, Sala, is that when Stampin' Up! Does design some of their papers, they do photograph things like that. And they had, not too awful long ago, they had some patterns that were actually one of the employees' shirts. And they took pictures of them and then turned it into the designer series paper. So I thought that was really cool. So sometimes they do, you know, drawings, sometimes it's photography. But I thought taking the photographs of the apparel was an interesting concept. I know, right? And as soon as you saw it, it's like, oh yeah, that is what it looks like. So let's burnish a couple of these. And then I also have some Balmy blue and some Night of Navy cardstock. I'm going to get this out of the way for right now. So this will go here. And that will go there. Now I can always cut more of this strip off of there so that I have more pieces, but I'm almost thinking I'm just going to leave it there. So we could do it colorized or not colorized. And then if we do the ribbon, that's going to be pretty sheer. But I think if we laid it on the dark side, it would show up better, and just put it at the edge of the dark. So I think I'm going to finish coloring these quickly. If I can find my scrap here. And we'll just finish that little pattern going up there. And whoever I get it to, I almost colored the wrong box. Whoever I get it to is not going to realize that those boxes were colored by me. They may think it was just printed that way. You like it uncolorized? That's why we're going to do two of them. The plain and the Technicolor version. And I suppose if I would have used different colors, it might have been more appealing. I kind of like the yellow and the lemon lime twist though, so. And I like lemon lime twist with the Night of Navy, so that's why I picked those. And then I think if we do that there, we'll just do another row of yellow here, the Daffodil Delight. Just something a little different. It would make your card very unique. So if you saw a card that you wanted to copy, then you could make it very unique by just putting something like that on there. Some color would make it different. Now, does Bon Bon live wherever Tyler was stationed? Is that why she met you there? I'm sure it came up another night on the live, but I didn't commit it to memory. I knew she was going to pick you up, right? Or I should say, I thought she was going to pick you up. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. We are using the product of the month. And I have to see what it's called because I forgot. It is called the True Blue Florals Designer Series paper. So I'm going to get a lot of cards out of here for my $5, let me tell you. All right, so let's cut a piece of this Balmy blue ribbon. And we're going to put that on the edge of the darker piece, that Night of Navy piece. And we'll just go ahead and use some of our Stampin' Seal. Maybe, did it come off of here? There we go. This one's almost empty, so it's starting to act up a little bit. And I'm just going to put it kind of close to the edge. I just want that bit of shimmer there. I think that'll be pretty. And then this will go on here. So let's get some more glue. How long since you've seen her face to face? Hopefully that will stick well. Hello, Susan. Yes, we did hear that it is very hot in Australia. I was on a Zoom meeting earlier with a couple of gals, one from Australia and one from New Zealand, and they shared how hot it was. I wish I could be there. I like it hot. All right, so there's that one. And let's do the, we'll call this the original version, not the Technicolor version. I think this paper would make a nice quilt look card. You know, when we use our little strips and squares and triangles. I think that would make a cool card. I do like the plain version. I like them both, but probably this is more I don't know, traditional, maybe? Is that a good way to say it? Let's cut another piece of our ribbon here. I need to be better at using my ribbon. I don't use enough of my ribbons. And then there ends up getting new things, and then I feel bad that I haven't used my older things. So Juju, I imagine Tyler was happy to see you. He looked pretty serious in the picture that Bon Bon sent, but I'm thinking he had to look military mature, right? We'll just put our paper on end so I can push it flush with the edge. It's been a year. I just noticed your comment there, Juju. It's been a year since you've seen Bonnie face to face, huh? That's a long time. All right. I like that. All right, so now we need to do some layers for a sentiment. Now, let me get this out of the way. And I can probably put this out of the way for now. I could probably get the papers out of the way for now till we get to the next one. They do make kind of a nice placemat. Sorry, what was the question? If Tyler was happy to see you. Was this a test to see if I was paying attention to myself? I wondered if he had a cape, military, controlled kind of look. Hi, Yuda. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of these is the backside to something. Oh, that's the backside to that one. Okay. I should probably show both sides. Let's go like this, so that we can decide what we want to do with the next ones. All right, those are all so pretty. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then there's this one, but I cut it all up. All right, so that's 12. All right, let me move these out of the way so we can decide what kind of sentiments to put on here. Product of the month. True Blue Florals. All right, so here's how far we are so far. So I thought we could make well, we didn't use the paper for this one, so maybe we won't use that one. And that foliage piece might be kind of big. You cried. I bet you did. Yeah, they grew up in those 6 months. He was in basic training for 6 months, right? All right, let's go ahead and cut down a couple of these. I think we've got 6 inches, so I'm just going to cut these into 3 inches. So 3 by 4. If we do that, we're not even going to see a whole lot of that colored Technicolor anyway. And then if we put Night of Navy on there, we had 3 by 4, we'd do 3 1/4. Whoops. And what is AIT? You probably told me before, and I should know because I worked at the VA for a couple of years. Something training. Something training. And then if we had, so this will go here. And then if that was 3, then I need 2 3/4. And 2 3/4. So that should work there. And that should work there. And then we've got this wishing you were here, wishing you all the best, wishing you a happy birthday, wishing you lots of luck, wishing you well. This is delightful wishes, and there's the dies that coordinate. And wishing can be made into a fussy cut piece without fussy cutting. His job training. Okay. So we could do wishing. Let's see here. Wishing, I did surgery on this one. Wishing you a happy birthday. We can emboss that in white. And then maybe do the word either stamped in Daffodil Delight or Lemon Lime Twist, or we could just have it cut out of white with blue. Maybe cut out of white with blue would be more basic. All right, so let me get another little piece of white. I have a few pre-cut, luckily. And if we do that, but a pop of color would be nice too to tie things in. Yeah, might be. We can do a couple of them. Let me get a couple of pieces of other cardstock. Some little pieces. I think this would work. That'll work. All right, so let's go ahead and stamp on here. I still don't have my picture. I don't know what happened with that. I can see all the comments though. Hopefully the picture looks okay. All right. Let's ink this up and see how that looks on the Daffodil Delight. Sally, you are not the nightmare viewer. I love the suggestions. I mean, that's why I encourage everybody to to chime in, because, you know, a lot of times I come up with nothing and I'm thinking, oh, what can I do to make this look better? And somebody will come up with something. I'm like, oh, I really like that. I say it's a collaborative effort. But, you know, I have all the colors. I have all of the cardstock. I think my Night of Navy needs to be re-inked. It's looking a little peaked here. So I think this might work better. If I set it down a little bit, I might be able to see better. I hope I'm not almost at a re-inker. Sometimes I just don't have enough hand strength. I guess we'll just dot it. Some of these bottles are really thick and hard to squeeze. It's soaking in really fast too. That might be part of the issue. Usually I just kind of can streak it on or dot it on, and I can see it really well. I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to be super juicy so that I can't make it out. But I do need to find my spoon. For spreading it out a little bit. We'll see how that looks. Sorry for the delay. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, that's much more blue. Think I can line it up? Let's see. See how good it looks, or if it looks like there's got a little shadow on it. Yeah, it's got a shadow on it, but that's all right. We have two sides of paper, but re-inking it was important. It gave me a lot more color. Yeah, I do see questions about re-inking also. I hate to waste time when everybody here knows how to do it, but it doesn't take that long. All right, so let's do, well, I guess we'll do it on white, and we'll do it on the lemon lime twist, I guess. So even though I did a tap, 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 I still got ink all over my stamp, my photopolymer. But as long as you don't, you know, like rock and roll your stamps, it's fine. You know, some people have the habit of kind of wiggling their stamps. I don't. Yeah, I probably could have gotten away with it, but I can see it. You're very kind, Salo. The G is a little light, but I don't care. They're going to know it's handmade. Sometimes I can get by with just kind of breathing on my stamp once I've inked it to give it a little bit more humidity. That looks gorgeous. All right, let's get this out of the way, and then let's get little Betsy out here. if we trim these down a little bit, we can just use the little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Yeah, it dries pretty quickly, so once I stamp it, unless I'm embossing, it's usually pretty true to the color that it's going to be. These are, our ink pads are water-based, so they do dry pretty quickly. Oh, guess what? Part of my sentiment has gone missing. All right, what did I set there? Here it is. Good thing I noticed that right away. I should probably put that on a block. What do you think? Before I lose it again. I think that's just a little bit crooked. Now it's a little bit crooked the other way. I might have to put it on some grid paper, or my grid here. Yeah, I had a runaway stamp. You're not kidding. That was a little scary. I think we'll do something like this. I think that looks pretty good. All right. Phew! At least it's contained now. I don't know where it is. And let's get this out of the way so I don't get ink on myself. Now we need this. I need some plates. And wishing. And I am going ahead and using that washi tape just because my bottom plate is warped-ish. That should be okay. I think it's lined up close enough. The Great Escape. So I'm scary and it had to get away from me. There we go. So there's, I guess it would help if we put it on the one with the yellow. There's Wishing. It's a little off center. So there it is in Daffodil Delight. Let's do it in the Lemon Lime Twist. See how that looks. Let's see if that's lined up a little bit better. Oh, I think it might have shifted. It might be time for me to replace that bottom plate. Because now it's shifted down that way a little bit more. I had the H I thought lined up a little bit better. I don't know if I like the background ones. What do you think? We'll see what it looks like with the white. Let's see if I can get this one lined up perfectly. Maybe if I tape it in the center, that would be better. Oh, that one's lined up really well. Enjoy your dinner, Susan. You're going out tonight. Enjoy. The cook gets a break. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so what do we think? I'm going to get this out of the way for right now. All right, and then we need a happy birthday. And we probably need, I don't know, it needs a little something. Like maybe a flower. You like the lime one? Oh, the tape came right off with the die. Obviously, I've not used that one yet. And I think these work together. So I think that adds some texture onto the flower. Let's cut a couple of those out too. Let me just see how that looks. And then if we do wishing you a happy birthday, and then if we put a flower up there, and I guess there is a stem. We'll get a little scrappy thing going on here with a lemon lime twist, and maybe we can do our stem and some leaves. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. We could probably get it to fit on here. I still didn't put any more super glue on my thumb. That's got the cracked skin, so my thumb hurts every time I touch things. So I feel like I'm a little slow on a couple of these things. So that just kind of gives that flower a little dimension. And then let's see what the stem and the leaf look like. Let's see if I can get those to behave. So that'll go like that. Wishing you a happy birthday. That looks kind of nice. Okay, am I missing? There we go. I'm missing a die. So then we'll emboss this in white. And we'll see how that looks. Make sure I get the white and not the clear, right? can get these out of the way. We'll attach those in a minute. You know, I could have done, and maybe we should, let me know what you think. We could do the background in the lemon lime twist, and then there's a die that actually does the word. Where did I put the dies? But then I'd have to put adhesive sheet on that, and it might look a little bit more polished, you know. They're here somewhere. I'll find them. One step at a time, right? All right. We'll get rid of any static. And I'm going to stamp this around a little bit because with all of the gingerbread guy that my granddaughter was doing over the weekend, my Versamarks need to be re-inked as well. I should have put my Pearson mat under there, but I didn't. So we're just going to try to be patient. Okay, that looks good. And we'll just lay that all out and see how it looks. Sala, how did your couple of video things go? You were doing like, I don't know if it was like a blog hop or what you were doing, but I thought you were working with a couple of other people to do a demonstration live. Did those happen yet? Let's get some glue. Your little Saint Nick candy holders were cute. So it was a YouTube hop. One's due tomorrow. Oh, so you're pre-recording? You have such a calm demeanor when you do your videos. All right, so lemon lime twist. Oh, that's right, your voice is gone. I wasn't even thinking about that. Put that there. Record it, edit. Yeah, I don't take the time to edit mine. You get what you get. It's obviously more important when you're doing something like your little hop there. Okay, let's go ahead and glue that on there. I think, though, I want to do a little ink blending on this to give it some dimension. Let's get some Darling Duckling or crushed curry. I grabbed crushed curry. I think it'll look better. put this over on my magnet so I don't lose it. And yeah, if you've got a time limit too that you need to try to stick to, I can see where editing would be helpful. Of course, if it's recorded, they could always fast forward too. I think that gives it just a little bit more dimension. Now, I hope I didn't lose my little inset piece. There it is. Whew. How many people are on that hop, Sala? Now this would be a good opportunity for me to let this set so that the glue doesn't squish out all over. And this is just the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. I just put it in a fine tip bottle. But it's the same as what we call our green glue. I don't have different glues in my bottle. In my different bottles, it's all the same. There are 2 to 3 videos every day in December. Oh, some are over an hour. Wow. Oh, 40, that's a lot. Yeah, I've done some of those things where there's a bunch of demonstrators and it doesn't take too long and I'm way behind. And then I get to the point where I just don't feel like I can ever catch up and then I stop watching. And if it's something I paid for, I feel bad because then I'm wasting my money and missing out on potentially some really good ideas. Let go. One of these days, maybe I'll get in on one of those. All right. So. I have to line that up a little bit better. I might not line that up well at all. Oh, this one needs to go over here. Yeah, I didn't line that up at all good. There. And now I have some extra color on there because I had ink on the back of that piece of paper. That's all right. Flowers have different colors. It'll be fine. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. We'll give it a little lift. So that can kind of go there. I guess I need the fine tip one. Minimum of 20 minutes. 20 minutes is doable. And if you're just doing one project and explaining and teaching, you know, as you go, maybe I should put that on some strips so it sets up. I've been using a lot of my strips, but they work good for this sort of thing. Well, with your voice going, Sala, it'll probably be better if you have plans to make it shorter. Yeah, 3 hours is kind of a long time to watch. Let's get that on there, right? Yeah, I kind of get a headache if I have too much screen time. Some days are really worse than others because I'm answering messages and trying to post things and reading articles and whatnot. And I use, I don't watch TV per se, very little TV. And I get most of my news either through my husband or whatever comes through my feeds. But then I figure I can kind of skim over things and see if it's worth my effort. A lot of times it's not. So I think when I get this one done, this is probably going to be it for tonight. That's a little wider than I wanted it to. Yeah, that's going to show. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's just try to make this a little more narrow. I think that'll work. And is it a public hop or is it something that people had to pay? Like an online virtual retreat? I don't know how all of those work. Sometimes I've seen like the blog hops and it's just open to whoever finds it. So I probably should have put some texture, some lines on that, but I don't want to ruin it at this point. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on. And I have some dimensionals that are kind of low profile. They were, I think these were from a kit and they're just a little flatter than our normal ones. So I'm just going to put it on the edges, not where I've got that wishing already raised up. That way when it goes through the postal machine, it's not going to have an overall thickness that needs extra. Oh, although that flower does, so... Oh well, it'll be okay. So we'll just put one maybe there. That'll probably be okay. Maybe one in the middle there. And because my thumb is so sore, instead of trying to pick those off, I'm just gonna use my take your pick tool. Come on, there we go. Thank you, Donna. Oops. Little loose powder there. I think that'll be pretty good. All right, so I will do the uncolorized version and post pictures on my Facebook page. And really, aside from my putzing around, it was very easy. And I think what I'm going to do is, I just feel like this needs some shading on here. I was afraid I was going to ruin it, but it needs something more. Did I not bring the light lemon lime twist? Let's use some of this soft sea foam. That should have been lighter. We'll see how that looks when it dries. It just needed a little bit more dimension to it. So, well, thank you all for your input, though. I mean, it was suggestions that we got the colors going. I know I colored this one, and that wasn't necessarily everybody's favorite, but I think it turned out all right. I'll go ahead and I'll do this one. And I think what I'll do is I'll do the die cut with the word wishing along with that fussy cut on the outside. But you can kind of see what it would look like. And I'll do the You a Happy Birthday in white again. I think that actually looks pretty good. I might not do anything more with that. I like that. So thank you all for stopping in. Thanks for hanging in there. We're a little over an hour. Not too bad. Not too bad. Of course, it's only one card, but, you know, I have my little chit-chat and stuff at the beginning, too. Well, thank you, Sala. Yeah, sometimes the coloring doesn't look so good when you're first doing it, but when it's factored in with other things, it does give it a different vibe. But I like them both. So I'll finish this one. I'll post pictures on my Facebook page. Pop over there. I'll try to do this tomorrow. I only have one thing going on midday. Hopefully I'll be able to focus some studio time. So yeah, we kind of did two. This one just needs a few more minutes. And it'll be good. Oh, here's my light lemon lime twist that I was looking for. It was over there. Trust the process. That's exactly right, Sala. Trust the process. Well, Sala, tell Amanda I said hello and that my thumb is up since it wasn't on the screen before. Anybody who was lurking, I think we call that from the balcony now. I didn't know that was a term, but anybody who was lurking in the balcony, feel free to chime in next time. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. I appreciate it. And Sala, good luck with your voice. And I'm sure your video will be awesome. Did you tell us the name of the blog hop? Or the YouTube hop, whatever it is? I'm looking through the comments to see if you had put it on there. I know Donna asked. It's crazy. Oh, I figured she was already gone for school, but you can let her know that I've missed her. And then Alexandria, right? Is it Alexandria? She's already gone too, because she leaves earlier. So thank you all for popping in. Until next time, happy crafting. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever you're at. And try to stay cool, those of you where it's hot. Terry's Crafty Christmas 25. Perfect. I'll go take a look. Thanks for the suggestions, ladies. We'll catch you next time. Happy crafting.